very good morning and welcome to another episode. We have Professor Ravindra Gettu, who is the Dean of Industrial Consultancy and Sponsored Research, ICNSR at IIT Madras. Dr. Gettu has had an elaborate experience of over 35 years in teaching and has been a part of various institutions, gaining experiences from USA and Spain before he decided to finally settle in India. It's an honor to have you here, sir. So we have a set of questions for you. And so, Dr. Ravindra, the first question to you is something that every profound academician is asked in today's time. And that is, how do you think the education industry has transformed, if at all that is, in the effect of the COVID-19 pandemic?
Well, thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be on your show. I understand that you have a wide followership, and it would be great to connect to all of them. Well,
absolutely.
Education has changed a lot. Education has changed a lot due to COVID. We know that there is a need to continue education. We cannot stop everything and wait until COVID blows over. So we've mainly, all of us in the education sector have gone online. We've tried to teach as well as we can through online courses and interacting with students also online.
Right.
So in my case, for example, we have already been having a lot of experience with NPTEL. This is the National Program for Technology Enhanced Learning of the Government of India and the SWAYAM program. So we have a lot of experience in video recording. Now what we did is even the regular courses went online, and we had students following these courses online. We recorded the lectures and they could download and listen to them later. Now we are battling with the decision on how to have exams and quizzes also online. Assignments can be done online. Like in my course, all the assignments are submitted online in any case. So things are changing, but I'm also finding the positives that students can concentrate, look at the lectures when they want, and those who do not like a certain time slot or set timings could take advantage of this flexibility. So
right.
Things are changing, and this may be the way that a lot of us will be teaching in future as well.
Because COVID is here to stay for a while.
Not only that, I think because of this situation, we are understanding how we can use online tools better.
Absolutely.
So we can always complement this. COVID will go away, but we would have learned how to use these online tools, and we can complement our classroom teaching and face-to-face interaction with online material.
Right. So, as we know that you're specialized in civil engineering, and that brings me to my second question, that according to you, what is the future of civil engineering, especially post-COVID, in respect to post-COVID?
Well, people who have taken civil engineering or interested in civil engineering should not worry about their careers. See, civil engineering involves a lot of things, not only just building and construction, but also sanitation, hygiene, and so on. And
right.
Certainly people would need houses, would need transportation systems, and so on. But in addition, what we are also learning is that we need doffing units, we need places that people can change having had contaminated clothing and so on. So this is all civil engineering interests in any case. So there will be new requirements of civil engineers in terms of ventilation, safety, sanitation, and so on. We are even thinking of how we can make something as simple as opening a door contactless, so that you can open the door or the door opens itself when you pass through. Air conditioning has to ensure that there is enough renovation of fresh air. So
Right.
there are many things which will challenge civil engineers more. But as a career, I think no one has to be worried about the civil engineering profession. We will see a lot of changes in the construction projects. Until we have the scare of COVID, there has to be social distancing done. So this means that we will use more automation. Maybe robotics will come in a bigger way. And
Right.
we will have to make sure that labor intensive tasks are done with more care in terms of not passing on the infection.
Right. So the third question that I have for you is also related to civil engineering, and that is, what are your long-term objectives when it comes down to civil engineering, and how is IIT Madras heading towards that vision of yours?
Well, if we think of our country first, housing is a big requirement. We need tens of millions of housing units in our country. Infrastructure, there are a lot of plans. The government wants to almost double our highway network in the few years, in the coming few years. So there are a lot of requirements, and this is indicated by a very interesting metric, which is the cement production in the country. The cement production is in the order of 300 million tons. It is expected to even reach 1,000 million tons by 2050. So there is going to be a lot of construction. We use a lot of cement, a lot of concrete. That means that we require to construct a lot more. So civil engineering, as it is a traditional field, it doesn't change much, but when it does, you will see that there is a lot of benefits to society.
Yes.
Yeah, and you also wanted to know what is IIT Madras doing in construction. Well, we have about 60 faculty members. All of them are active in research. The areas that we are maybe most active are in the fields of providing water, drinking water to people. This is something, again, which is very important for our country and all developing countries. So we have a group which is looking at providing safe and clean drinking water to people. In the area of construction materials, we are looking at new materials which will have lower carbon footprint, that will be easier on raw materials and fossil fuels. So there are many areas that we are looking at that hopefully we will be able to make a major impact for our country and the construction sector as such.
Amazing. It's truly, like, I am at loss of words right now. Okay, so anyway, IIT Madras is one of the most sought after institutes for all the good reasons, of course. And after that, since you mentioned all the things that IIT Madras is doing and is planning to do, and that brings me to my very last question, that any piece of advice and wisdom that you would want to provide to the aspiring civil engineers of the nation?
Well, as you would know, in the NIRF ranking, IIT Madras has again topped as best institution in the country, and we've been 5 times in a row the top engineering institution in the country. So we would be glad to have all civil engineering aspirants come to IIT Madras to take civil engineering. And my advice is, if you like civil engineering, if you are a person who likes to help society, wants to make their ideas go into practice to help people, the environment, and if you are somebody who wants to make big things like the tallest building in the world, the longest bridge in the world, a water supply network for a whole city, then certainly civil engineering is the profession that you should take up. And there, as I said before, there are a lot of requirements. Civil engineering is not a profession that is going to go out of fashion. or out of need. So there is a lot to look forward to, and things will also change. Like I again mentioned before, robotics is something that will come in more. We are already talking about artificial intelligence in transportation systems. So there will be a lot of new technologies and methodologies that will come in. It will
AI, AR, VR, robotics, they are the future right now. It's all about that.
Brick and mortar is going to change. It's not, civil engineering is not brick and mortar alone. So everything that you think of is part of civil engineering.
Right. Thank you so much for all your insights and sharing your knowledge with us. It was an honor to have you here. We certainly hope that we'll have you back again. Thank you so much for doing this with us.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.